Okay, so we are here playing Rafty Crab, and I'm joined by Kuviman. You just mentioned before I started the highlight that you're not feeling the best, but thank you for joining me on the stream nonetheless.
Hello, hello.
So I can see that you are a crab down there, and I am a seagull, and I'm using space to
Yeah,
drop.
so you're right now a spectator because we are playing against Eddie here. So as soon as I win Eddie here, which should be like in no time, just give me a second. Yeah, there you go, easy. Now there's going to be a new round and we're going to be playing all against each other.
I see. So we are all crab, and you've got the. Is it like a dash or like a?
Yeah, it's a dash and you can push other people when you dash, basically.
I see.
So
But
you
there's.
want to stay on the raft. So you want to try and push other people into the water if you can.
Got it. And then the sharks are going to be. Oh, that's cool. I see how you're actually like doing the. What is it called with the planes with the shark, so that they appear sort of 3D-ish. It's not billboarding. What would you call that?
Well, so before this gem started, I actually wanted to try this style. So if you have played my previous game, you know that I have made my art with paint before. And I wanted to do something with 3D, so I decided to make my own program for this gem so that like I can draw like normal, like in paint, but at the same time being able to have some 3D. So basically it's a program that allows me to have 2D layers in 3D space.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's basically just the textures on differently rotated planes.
Yeah, it reminds me of the way that you might see a game developer implement a tree, like with sort of intersecting planes, so that you look at it from different angles and it appears as though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But, on the trees they are usually like always facing towards the camera.
Yes.
In this it's like this is basically just me trying out this approach, but it can be extended to at billboards and similar stuff. Yeah.
Nice. Well, it's a neat implementation of it. So we'll just launch right into things then. What was the inspiration behind this game?
Well, the Ludum Dare itself, I guess. I just wanted to do something for LD, and I wanted to do multiplayer this time because I didn't like last LD. I did a single player game, and before that it was like 5 multiplayer games. So I wanted to get back to do multiplayer, and also as you can see this time. If you compare to my previous ones, in previous ones it's basically was a single player multiplayer game where you could just see other people but not interact with them directly, and this time I guess it's the first time where the core gameplay mechanic is you interacting with other people. So that's also
Yeah.
something that I tried for the first time here.
It's much more strictly PvP as opposed to the other games where you're just kind of like, as you said, you see other people there, but they don't actually influence the gameplay space.
Yes, exactly. So because of that, for example, this game is not really like playable alone, unlike my other games.
Yeah. I'm just noticing that the sort of like the back, like the crab sprite itself is also based on the sort of like 2D, 3D effect. I only noticed it on the sharks at first.
Every single thing here, like also if you like when the seagulls they poop on you, the poop is also a 3D model which is done in the same way. Like every single asset here is the same thing, basically.
Nice. So it was a good good stress test.
These particles are also just textures.
Yeah.
On planes, yeah.
No, it's super cool to have seen like the engine that you've been building out, just sort of slowly evolving over time with these different features you're building in.
Well, they're not built into the engine. My engine is still as raw as it was originally, I'm pretty sure. It's just I try different things. They most often actually don't get into the engine, and I feel like I am removing features from the engine more often than I'm adding them. Like let's say about this multiplayer.
Yeah.
There was a feature where where I could easily have a certain like model in sync between the client and the server, like a little helper library. And this time I didn't use it because I don't know. I felt like it was not good enough, so I went back to the raw, just sending messages between the client and the server, basically without using any help of the engine.
And that just felt like it was that was more stable, or
I don't know. I feel like when I'm working on the engine, I'm really, it's really hard to come with some API that is like good enough to stay there forever.
okay.
Yeah.
So when you participate in these game jams, I had sort of thought about it from the perspective that you were like, well, I think I've just doomed. No, I didn't quite doom myself there. I had sort of thought about it from the perspective that like each time you participate in a game jam, you are sort of expanding the library of code. But what would you consider then? Do you just participating in game jams for fun, and then you work on the engine outside of the context of a game jam?
Well, I try out different approaches, right? So, like for this game jam, I did try the approach to make a multiplayer game where we like actually try interacting with each other, and like me and you, we are on the opposite sides of the world, and it still is kind of playable, right?
Yeah.
So I guess it works out, and then this art style, it was the main part of me participating in the game jam. Like I made the application for it, right? So that was the main reason, I guess, to try out this thing. So maybe I will use it in the future more. But it's just not going into the engine. But I still am building on the like tools and approaches that I know how to do and how to like use, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So was it all inspired by the game Raft because of the like the raft that is slowly getting eaten by the sharks here?
Well, we did talk about that a little bit, yes, but I'm not even sure what was my inspiration. Actually, no. I was like thinking about the game for a long time, and then someone in my Discord like described their idea, and in their idea there was a pooping seagull, but not any other part of the game that I ended up making, right? But I really liked the pooping seagulls, so I tried to figure out what to add to the pooping seagulls to make it into a game. I don't know. I don't even remember how I came up with this idea. I just tried out a lot of different ideas in my head before making it this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so how many people have you seen in a match, by the way? Like, what's the most number of crabs you've ever seen?
So far, the most number of crabs was when I was developing the game on my own stream. So yeah, so far all the streamers that have played the game, it has been at most like 5 people. On my stream, we tried it with like 10 people, I think. It gets a little more RNG, it feels like, when there's more people. Yeah. So I feel like this game specifically is better in a 1v1 or 1v1v1 situation like we are actually playing right now. So yeah, when there's two, because I don't make the raft bigger, for example, when there is more people.
Have you thought about making any changes to the game now that you have that observation?
Well, not really, because I didn't observe it on any other streamers other than myself. I feel, and also I'm not exactly sure, because this is a jam game. Like I'm not planning on expanding this really.
Yeah, for sure.
So most of the content is going to be for the streams like yours, where we play against each other. So So I do expect that on a couple of streams it's going to be really broken when there's going to be 30 people joining at the same time, but at the same time maybe that will not happen and it will just work out nicely.
Yeah, you can't really anticipate, like, short of writing a bot that acts like a crab that you could sort of use
Yeah,
to
like
populate.
writing a bot would help. Also would help with single player, obviously, right? Because when no one is playing, you could play against bots. But I don't know. Like let's say that there was more people, and I just expanded the size of the raft. The problem is all the people just stay in the middle. Like over here, we stay all in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And no one is going to be killed. So there's going to be needed to add some other changes, like holes in the raft, maybe, or something else.
Yeah, I was thinking of the possibility of like many small rafts that you like put 2 or 3 people in at a time, and you almost sort of like compete in a tournament bracket to see like who becomes the ultimate
sure.
crab.
I get, yeah, I guess so.
But then you don't get that same sort of chaos that you do by playing with lots of different people.
Well, it also requires implementation and testing. It's really hard. I'm actually like surprised that the most number of people so far has been on my development stream.
Yeah. Well, I figured it would be more popular today. Like usually people are kind of exhausted after Ludum Dare is finished on Monday, so things are pretty quiet, and then today things are busier. But I mean, so far at least, the stream yesterday had like higher average viewership than we're getting right now. But you know, we'll see as the people wrap up if we get any raids or anything to increase that number. But yeah, we'll see how the busyness goes as the week progresses. I mean, you might see more people playing on Saturday as well.
Yeah, I mean, I also streamed myself earlier today. I had a lot of people in my stream, so I just didn't play my own game there. You
Right.
know? I was playing other people's games. Anyway, I feel like the game worked out, so yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great execution on a simple but effective concept, as like pretty much every one of your game zones up being, yeah, just along those lines. So I guess well done as always. You know, there's always the like potential to take something like this and expand upon it, but then you have to wonder like, okay, well, how many people would be playing that realistically? Like outside of a fun distraction, you know, how compelling would you see this to be like a long term, you know?
I can see a little bit of potential in there, but I would not bet on this because no one plays jam games after the jam anyway.
That's kind of the issue.
I have no idea how to make people play this game in the future.
Yeah, like unless you ended up participating in one of those like score, I don't know if it's called like a score attack or what the sort of the jam that the whole point is to make something that is played for the sake of the score. Don't remember what that one's called.
Although at the same time, like like a year, more than a year ago, I made the Extreme Sports. If you remember, when you were skiing downhill, that game was played for like a year by a group of people. But there was like one group of people who played it like. I think every month they had a meeting of 10-15 people playing this game against each other. But still, it's just like one group, and I don't know. Maybe it can be done with work, right?
Yeah.
Like you need to promote your game. I guess I never really. I don't know how to do that.
No, trust me, I don't either.
Yeah, and also I really don't think that I want another project on me right now. When I was presenting you my other game for the previous gem, so that I'm working on a project trying to make a full game out of one of my gem games, and I don't want to like have another project to work on.
Yeah, you got to focus your efforts a bit.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, how's that going, by the way?
Well, we're going to continue after the Ludum Dare, but I guess I don't know. We currently plan on hopefully releasing the demo this year.
Nice.
Technically, it's not very far away, but it's just we have been distracted a lot. Like this time, it's LD. Before LD, there was something else, you know.
Yeah, it's tough when it's and anything that is a hobby project that isn't like your full-time day job or whatever is everything ends up getting in the way of it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've answered most of the questions on here. What was the most difficult difficult problem that you encountered during the jam, and what was your solution?
Well, I guess for this time it was the multiplayer and the PvP aspect, because the lag, I guess, right, is the problem. So as you can see, when you attack in this game, you are preparing your attack, and then after only a second you actually do the dash. So this is my solution for the lag problem, because I want you to be able to like save yourself and see other person attacking you, and be able to react to it. With your ping being pretty high, I expect your ping is like at least 300 milliseconds to the server here.
Is there a way you can check?
I guess you could try just running the ping command to my server.
Well, we don't have to specifically, but yeah, I mean, I like it in terms of a telegraph, and I figured it was being used as some sort of a like lag mitigation. So yeah, it's an elegant solution, absolutely, because it just works from a gameplay perspective, and then you also have this added benefit of like, because I don't know, do you dynamically like reduce the time that the characters in the attack pose if the like perceived lag was longer than a certain time frame?
Well, it's not the animation, right? It's on the server. Your like the state of your character is either it is preparing an attack, or it already has done the attacking.
Right.
And also like the attack in itself, the dash is instant, right?
Yeah.
So this is also because on the server, like if it was not instant, it would be so small amount of time that it would be less than ping, so I can't really do that.
Right. Okay, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. Also, another problem, by the way, is being a spectator. So I remember when the skiing game was done, a lot of people were like not happy playing as a spectator when other people are still in the race, right? You need to wait for the current race to finish, and in this game, when you are out, you are still kind of in the game. You can try and ruin the life of those crabs underneath you by doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, I like that it's a little way of indirectly like messing with people, creating because you just slide over it, like it's
Yeah.
you have no direction control effectively. Do you just lock the character's movement direction?
Yes, exactly. Which is also why if you were standing still, then you would just not be able to move. So it becomes sticky instead of slidey then.
Okay. Yeah, because I've definitely like started some games because the poop like carries over from one round to another, and I've started a game with the character with the poop landing on my player character. So I did notice that I couldn't move, but at least you have the option to dash to get out of it.
Yeah.
Nice. I also like that the dash is just large enough to get over a one tile gap, so that if the characters do end up separated from each other, as we did in not this past match, but the one before, you have the option of like chasing someone down if you're really determined to.
Yeah. I think if there was one change I would make to this game right now, like when the shark starts attacking the raft, right? It is eating it for a second before it's disappearing, and then your your the timing of you preparing a dash is also a second. So I would change the timings a little bit. I think either make the dash preparing shorter or the shark attack longer, so that you could react to the shark trying to attack the tile that you are currently standing on.
Yeah. No, I ran into that like literally as you were describing it. A shark ate the tile out from underneath my character, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Ah."
Like you're the only way you can save yourself is by not dashing, but by just running.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes you need to dash across the gap, for example, so you can do that.
Yeah, or having even just a tiny animation on the boards, like having them, like, because the shark will start attacking a tile. It's not always 100% obvious which tile they're attacking.
No, I think it's well, they're moving towards the tile. It's not very obvious where they are moving, but once they start attacking, I think it's pretty obvious.
Maybe
once they're out of the water.
I see. I mean, I see them going for the ones in the corners, but sometimes, I don't know, do they ever delete a tile out from the middle, or do they always go for the edges?
Yeah, they always go to the edges, because there is no way they can go out of the water in the middle.
Okay. So yeah. You
They're
should
basically
always
selecting a random tile which has an adjacent water tile.
Okay, cool. So it kind of predictably shrinks the arena. And then how often do they destroy a tile?
I think like so they move in random positions, and every time they choose in the next destination, there is a certain percentage. I think right now it's like 50% chance that they are going to go for an attack on your raft.
Okay. Yeah, because I see sometimes you get them like attacking back to back, and then other times it happens a little more slowly. So I guess that's just a probability at play.
I'm actually wondering if I made it not RNG, but like every third time they will attack. Like it would actually, like you could actually predict them then if you were like looking at the sharks all the time.
Yeah.
But it would be so much distracting, like, because you also need to look at the other crabs and everything. But I'm wondering if it's actually a good mechanic.
Yeah, that actually does sound like it would be a fun way to layer the complexity of the game, because if you think that the game is only about your crab and the one attack ability that you have, but then you realize that there's this added layer to predicting where the sharks are going to strike, then yeah, that could be neat. So, I don't know. Obviously, this concept of a sort of like sumo pushing each other out of a ring that is slowly shrinking could be applied to a different like theme or a different skin in the future. So if you ever...
I mean, these games technically already exist.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I mean. Like if you ever revisit this concept, you have another a few other ideas for something you could do to vary it up a bit. Oh no, we're both on the same little tile. Oh no!
Oh, I did see that shark coming.
Yeah. I saw him at the last second as well.
Let's play around without dashing.
Yeah, sure. I mean, do you have you ever like is it possible to get a tie, or like it doesn't really show?
Yeah, it doesn't really show the winner. That's what some of the commenters pointed out. There were some other things that I could improve here, but I was developing this for 20 hours and I felt like I felt too lazy at the end, I guess, or maybe not lazy, but like tired.
No, I mean
I say lazy usually.
I think anytime you put in 20 hours over a 72-hour period, you could not call that laziness.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, maybe like one of the other biggest things was the fact that you teleport and somehow make it at least look visually like you are not really teleporting, because it's not always obvious of what pushed you and why. It would be a little more obvious, but I just didn't. I tried to think about for like 5 minutes and I couldn't figure it out.
No, I mean the little dash particle effect I think looks fine. Like you get the idea across.
Yeah, but when you get pushed, I think
oh, okay,
I
see.
Always obvious what pushed you.
Sorry, yeah, I misunderstood. But yeah. So it's not. It's when another character pushes you.
Yeah. There is a similar particle. Maybe it should have just been made more visible. Because you probably just don't see it.
Oh no. If I'd have just stayed still, I would have won that round, but I tried to get greedy and move on to the same tile as Eddie. All right. Well, yeah, I think that's about all the questions I have to ask. So if anyone in chat has a suggestion or any questions they want to ask, now would be the time to voice your opinion. But otherwise, we'll wrap up there. And yeah, I mean, is there anywhere people can look? Obviously, your stream, your Twitch channel, if you want to drop a link to that in chat, kuviman.
Yeah, sure.
The sound effects of the game, are those all just noises that you're making, or?
Yes, they're all microphone noises.
Gotta love it.
Except for the music, obviously. The music is not my mouth. I cannot make this good music with my mouth, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would totally.
Well, there we go. That was a tie game to end it off. Yeah, I think that's where we'll wrap things up there. But thank you so much once again for sharing the game. Always a lot of fun. And yeah, looking forward to the next Jam project. And if you ever feel like you're at a point where you're up for feedback on that longer term project, I'd be happy to take a look at that as well.
Yeah, I hope it will happen soon.
All right.
I've been thinking about this dream, but unfortunately, like originally, I thought that project was going, like the demo is going to be released this summer. But yeah, now I'm optimistically thinking about the end of this year.
Yep. I know the feeling. All right. Well, best of luck, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye bye for now.
Thank you for having me. Bye.